Sky Squad, we are back in the building. Your boy is sick as a dog right now, but I am also heavily medicated. So y'all gonna have to excuse whatever I say in this video because I don't really have the mental capacity to be as politically correct as I typically try to be. So I'm giving you all fair warning right now that if I say something crazy, please don't blame it on me. Blame it on the medication. I see my people are in the building. I want to say thank you guys for tuning in, tapping in, and being turned on to this recap. I appreciate your time because I understand that for me, without you guys, this channel would be nothing. So I want to just say thank you guys for tuning in. Um, let's get into the episode because I feel like I'm about to pass out, but we're gonna make it through and make it do what it do because I likes to do my job. Okay. Now, with that being said, and it's not the panorama for anybody who was concerned. I think it might. Listen, my body is just aching, and I'm just like, it's just bad, man. It's just bad. So anyway, thank you guys all for the love, but let's get to it because we ain't got nothing to do but to do it. We're gonna rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10. We're talking Real Housewives of Potomac, season 7, episode 8. Okay, so this episode to me was an interesting aftermath, and I'm going to give it a 10 out of 10. But I want to know what you guys would rate it on a scale of 1 to 10. Now, I say 10 out of 10 because I always think that these episodes after a big altercation are usually very telling about who each person really is, how they handle the aftermath of conflict, and which direction certain people find themselves going. And so that to me, so from a sociological standpoint, in terms of looking at a group of friends, is a very interesting dynamic. And I feel like some people handle things in some ways that I definitely would not have handled it. Okay. And so we're just going to get into all of that. All right. And thank you guys for chiming in with, yes, every episode this season has been giving. Okay. Every episode has been given. I see we got some 10s, some 10s, some 10s, some 8s. We got a 6, we got an 8, we got another 10, we got another 10. To me, Potomac is just bringing it because I never know what to expect in each of these episodes. Okay. Let's see here. We got a 9, we got a 10, we got a 9. Next week is a 20. Next week is looking like it's going to be fire. Okay. So let's get down into it. We pick up at the table after the altercation. Ashley tells the group that's left at the table, that what Mia did was completely wrong. Giselle thinks that they were both wrong. How many of you guys in the chat feel like they were both wrong? Let me know in the chat. Let me know how many of y'all think that they were both wrong, or do you feel like one was more wrong than the other? Just let me know. I'm just curious. Let me know because I'm interested. Denise says both. Just Mia. Nope. Mia was wrong. Mia started the argument. Wendy wasn't wrong. Mia was wrong. Yeah. My thought on this situation is I wish they could have been defused by security before it got to that point. But I definitely feel like Mia was in the wrong for tossing the drink. I feel like Mia was also wrong for, trying to hit Wendy with the pocketbook. There was no need for that. The argument to me wasn't even that deep, and they could have ended that and had some shots afterwards. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, Mia and Wendy both want to get tickets home. Mia says that Gordon got her a ticket. Wendy is like, honestly, she feels like Mia should go home. But Wendy also says, F this professor thing. She's Wendy first. Now, I feel like this is Wendy having a human moment right here. And I feel like she's allowed to have that moment because she was assaulted. I mean, there's no way around it. Tossing a drink at someone, especially when it was unwarranted. Like, it wasn't like Wendy was in her face, trying to, like, telling her, hit me, or do something to me. She wasn't doing any of that. They were just arguing like the girls typically do. So honestly, I feel like at that point, I gotta call a spade at this point. and Wendy saying F this professor thing, I felt like it was also just very telling. Again, like I said, a human moment. Like who wouldn't lose their cool in that situation? You know what I'm saying? And I know she cares about her job, and maybe that was why they put up that little disclaimer last week about, the Johns Hopkins University has nothing to do with the Real Housewives of Potomac, because that moment that she had was absolutely 100% faux real. Okay. Next, Karen tries to go console Mia, but Mia is not trying to hear it. She actually blames Karen for not having her back, and they kind of get into it. And Karen, in her confessional is like, now wait a minute. Because Mia's like, you should have had my back. You should have had my back. If somebody was coming after Ray, I would have had your back. And Karen in her confessional was like, oh, she wants me to have her back, but she invites Sharice, who she knows I'm not effing with, on this trip. So does she really have my back? And that's actually a good question that I wish that Karen would have said in the moment. But something in my mind tells me that Karen is waiting for that moment to come. Okay. Because what I will say on this show is that I do believe that Karen is playing chess and not checkers. And what I mean by that is Karen plays the long game and not the short game. So keep an eye on Karen. Anyway, Ashley goes to talk to Wendy. Wendy does feel assaulted, and she's just glad that she didn't wear her straight wig, okay? Because if she had wore her straight wig and that drink had got up in that straight wig and it had started to frizz up, oh, Mia was about to catch it, okay? I did think this was funny. I also think that the way in which Wendy handled the aftermath of the of having wine or liquor thrown at her and almost being hit with a pocketbook, there was a little bit of levity to Wendy that really kind of let us know, like, again, nothing that was said was so serious that it warranted any of that. Okay. And I appreciated that Wendy called it for what it was. And then she said, you know what? I just don't want to be around it. I'm going to go get my own hotel room. And that is what we'll see her do. Mia, Jacqueline, and Giselle and Robin get in the car with Mia and learn that she's allegedly leaving in the morning, but she ain't going nowhere. Ain't nobody going nowhere. Jacqueline says that Karen was the only person that could have diffused that. Why does the onus fall on Karen to diffuse a situation between two grown women who are arguing about Peter Thomas? Why is it Karen's position to do that? That makes absolutely no sense to me. Just because she was sitting in between them, at one point you see Karen get up and you see Ashley switch places with her. So what is Karen, security? How was she supposed to stop any of that from happening when security couldn't even really stop it from happening? Help me understand it. How, Sway? How? That didn't make any sense to me, Jacqueline. Anyway, Robin and Giselle also blame Karen for straddling the fence and doing nothing. Listen, from my perspective, Karen to me ain't do nothing wrong. That's really all I got to say. Because at the end of the day, Karen is kind of a matriarch on this show. And Karen also says in her confessionals, or she says it to the group, I can't fight. What am I going to do? Well, what am I looking like trying to get up into it? You know what I'm saying? Now, why am I in it? Joyce Parker, thank you for the super chat. Says Mia wants yes people. She doesn't have friends. I don't agree with Mia. Then you are not. If you don't agree with Mia, then you are not loyal. She needs to kick rocks. And I will say this, thank you for that super chat. There was once upon a time when I used to think like that. Like, you know what? I got my friends back regardless of this, that, and the third. But listen, when you're doing something I don't agree with, I can't have your back in that situation. I'm going to make sure you okay. I'm going to try to get you up out of there, but I'm also going to let you know that I don't agree with your actions, and your actions are now a reflection on me, okay? Because I don't roll like that. I'm not trying to be up in no types of altercations. And Karen is like, what, 59? This ain't about an age thing, but it is about a wisdom thing. You know what I'm saying? And what would she look like engaging in any of that type of behavior? It wouldn't even make sense for Karen to do that. She's, again, like the matriarch of this show. Why would she get involved? And it's her birthday too? No, I don't agree with that. But you didn't see Robin, who is usually up in arms and up in everybody's face. She should have been the bodyguard if you want to be real about it and actually stop the fight. But all she was doing was sitting there recording it. And you noticed that she only picked up the phone when Wendy got up out of her seat, but she really wasn't interested in recording anything before that. That was so telling to me. And it was also telling to me that at one point she just admits to plain old not liking Wendy. But we'll talk about that when we get to it. Okay. Mia's group gets back to the house. Robin asks where Candiace is, and Giselle is like, Candiace is the least of my thoughts, okay? Because she's still beefing with her. Which I feel like we still ain't got no resolve to that whole situation with Candiace and Chris and Giselle, but I guess maybe it'll happen later. I don't know. Royalty says Karen did her job as a friend to both of them and held them both accountable. I agree with you 100%, Royalty. That's exactly what she needed to do. She held them both accountable, but she did not judge either one of them in a very harsh manner. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's what a mama bear would do in that situation. She's gonna make sure everybody's okay, but she ain't gonna get involved in no physical situation. What she look like doing that? No. Anyway, um Mia's group get back to the house. Robin, okay, we talked about that. Jacqueline says that both Mia and Wendy are bosses when the group gets together downstairs. And so when those two personalities clash, it's not going to be good. Um, I can agree with that to a certain degree. I think Mia running her own businesses and then Wendy running her own things, they just have never clicked or whatever. Like, and I think it's just never ended. I think that Mia was still mad at Wendy for some things that Wendy said to her at last season's reunion. And I think it's basically carried over into this season, and she has not let those things go. And I think ultimately that is really what led to the altercation. It wasn't just Peter. That's my honest opinion based on what we saw at last season's reunion and how Wendy was just like, girl, shut up, and just, kind of giving it to Mia. I think that Mia still held on to something that happened from last year. And I felt like this was her way of getting back at Wendy. I could be wrong, but that's what it seemed like to me, because otherwise, Wendy is correct. Y'all are arguing over Peter Thomas. Why? Okay. And this is no shade to Peter Thomas, because as you guys know, I'm listen, if you are an enterprising entrepreneur that can find your way onto multiple shows on the same network and get the spotlight on your business, why not? Anyway, um Charisse convenes with the Giselle group and they ask, well, what is Wendy doing? Is she staying at the house? Because, they can't wait for her to leave. Anyway, Ashley goes to check on Wendy and, helps Wendy pack up and leave the house and get to a hotel. And Giselle is just oh so gleeful and is ready for tomorrow because it's going to be a great day. So the next morning, everybody's up doing their own thing. Charisse and Giselle eat breakfast, and they don't know if Wendy is coming back. But Ashley comes in, and they ask her where her thinking is. Ashley says she just doesn't like violence, period. Charisse is like, well, that's contradictory because basically Ashley wrote a letter of support in the case against Monique when Candiace and Monique were in their whole situation from 2 seasons ago. And it's interesting that Charisse is bringing this up. And so Ashley says, I did not condone that either. Okay. And Giselle says in her confessional, well, Ashley blows with the wind. And Ashley in her confessional points out Giselle's hypocrisy for not supporting Wendy when Mia was the actual aggressor. So which one is it, Giselle? Who actually is floating wherever the wind goes? Just come out and say it. You didn't like Monique. Okay. You didn't like Wendy, to be honest with you. You especially don't like Wendy because she read you for filth last season. She read Robin for filth last season, and ain't neither one of y'all over it. So you are supporting whoever is the person that is going against Wendy because chances are you probably don't even like Mia either, to be quite honest with you. Okay? That's how I feel. I'm sorry. I'm trying to be as normally as politically as correct as I can, but the medicine has really taken a hold of me, and so I just got to say it. Okay, I just got to say it. Anyway, Mia and Jacqueline and Robin joined the group. We learned that Candiace arrived the night before, and Robin filled her in on a very interesting side of the story that was very empathetic to Mia. Robin revealed that she recorded the altercation and agrees that and says that Wendy was acting very, very angry. And from the video she shows to Candiace, even Candiace says, well, yeah, Wendy did seem extra angry, but she felt like Mia should be the one leaving. So they are planning for Karen's birthday. It's an all-white dinner, allegedly. And Mia is going to get her nails fixed. And Karen is like, well, I wish we could have all got our nails done. Okay. Because Mia broke her nails and was bleeding when she was trying to attack Wendy with the pocketbook. Okay. So anyway, they all convene by the pool. Mia announces that they're going to the Savoy at 1 p.m. for a little beach soiree. But Candiace, Ashley, and Karen want to, they get together to talk about Wendy. And Karen wants everybody at the birthday dinner. And she didn't like that Wendy was saying things about Mia's husband. So Karen is definitely firmly in the middle of this situation, right? But Candiace is very upset that Wendy is not here, and it's triggering for her because she feels like Robin is being a hypocrite for defending Mia and not Wendy. And I'm like, girl, they just don't like Wendy. Like, you got to accept that. They do not like Wendy. If they could, to me, in my mind, if they could ice somebody out of this show, they would ice somebody out of this show in a minute in order to get Charisse back on the show full time. Period. Because they're the only ones that keep bringing her around. I don't have nothing against Charisse. Matter of fact, from what I can recall, we actually share the same birthday. So I don't have no beef with Charisse, but I do think that there is a contingent, i.e. Robin and Giselle, that would like to have her back full time. And I feel like they're trying to do as much as they can to do that. But I wish they would take some notes from Dr. Heavenly and do what she did with Quad to help Quad get back on Married to Medicine, because that's the way you do it if you really want to bring somebody back. That's how you do it, okay? Meanwhile, so Robin is wondering why Candiace is crying and comparing this situation with her and Monique. And she says that Mia was wrong for throwing the drink, but Wendy was also wrong for escalating the drama. So the producer's like, but you're more on Mia's side for some reason. And Robin laughs and basically just tells the truth, because I don't like Wendy. Boom. There it is. There it is. It ain't so much that you on Mia's side. It's just that you don't like Wendy. And you were sitting there recording, in my opinion, in order to get the side of Wendy that you felt like would show her in the worst possible light, allegedly. Okay? Now, listen, I don't have a problem. Listen, I feel like this. Ain't no problem with not liking Wendy. You cannot like somebody on this cast. That don't make you have a color issue. What it does do is it is very telling. Like, because of, here's the thing. I would rather you just simply say, I don't like Wendy, and keep it a buck. Like, just simply say that. But the way you are going on and trying to make it seem like Wendy was the aggressor is what I don't like. So just simply call a thing a thing. Even Mia has apologized on social media for her actions. So at the end of the day, why are you still defending Mia in this situation when Mia herself has already admitted that she's wrong? Again, call a thing a thing. You just don't like Wendy. You wouldn't have cared if Mia had hit her with the pocketbook. Period. So Kelly, I don't think that there's a problem with not liking Wendy. Just be honest about it. That's all I'm saying. And I feel, I'm like, I'm glad the producer actually got her out of that, got that out of her. The Hicks World says the Bad Girls Club's antics is very unfortunate. I watched the show to see how rich they are, their come-ups, businesses, etc. The evil is uncalled for. The Hicks World, I'm actually, of the same frame of mind. I really watched a lot of these shows because I am looking for fabulous lives, and we want to see what's, as Nene used to say, behind the gates. You know what I'm saying? And those are the types of lives that we actually want to see. But, for me, I got to say it. The most enjoyable scene for me in this episode was Candiace's scene with Trina, but I'm going to get to that. So anyway, Ashley FaceTimes Wendy, and Wendy's been crying all day, and they all want Wendy to come to the Savoy for the beach party. Karen goes to tell Mia she wants Wendy to come to the beach, and she asks, "Is that okay with you?" Mia basically says she's not really cool with that, but it's Karen's birthday, and then Mia just wants to spend time with her, and then Karen can go hang out with Wendy on her own. And but Mia also doesn't understand why anyone who is supporting Wendy can still be her friend. And it's like, girl, first of all, let's just call a thing a thing. All right. These are grown women. You cannot police who another grown woman is friends with. I cannot like somebody and my best friends can like them, and I have nothing to do with that. I just don't want to be around those people. Period. So you can be friends with whomever you like. I'm not the friend police. I can't tell people who to be friends with and who not to be friends with. And to be quite honest with you, Wendy was on the show before you, so Karen would have a longer relationship with Wendy than she would with you. Period. Jennifer says, "I've become a Wendy and Candiace supporter. At first for me, Mia, Giselle, and Robin are being super wrong and know it. And Charisse, why is she there? Why is she there, Ike?" Oh, I'm sorry. We had a couple more super chats. My apologies. That was the one. Got that one. Courtney Fulton says, "I don't watch reality TV like I used to because it's so toxic. It's sad how dark these shows are becoming. It seems that bad behavior gets ignored for the sake of good TV." Thank you for that super chat. It is kind of difficult sometimes because there is a level of toxicity that comes along with some of these shows. But the hope is that when you have a conflict, you can also have a resolution. And I hope it's coming soon, but not in this episode, at least. And it don't look like it's coming in the next episode either. Okay. So as Mia is talking like, I don't understand who anybody can be Wendy's friend and still be my friend. Karen is like, "Are you talking to me?" And I'm like, "Ooh, Karen is about to be activated. This is what I'm here for." Mia says, "Yeah." And Karen is like, "I'm trying to build a bridge here between the two of you." But Mia is not ready for that and doesn't want Wendy to come to the Savoy. So Candiace, Ashley, and Karen get together to discuss it. And afterwards, Karen lets Wendy know that the invitation was not accepted by Mia, but Ashley still wants to go check on Mia along with Candiace and Karen. So Karen announces to the group that she's going to check on Wendy. So Giselle, Robin, and Ashley and Candiace all take shots, but they don't get a boomerang of it. And you know how people, when you take shots, you do the boomerangs. So apparently somebody missed it. And so they say, "Let's do it again." And so I guess Robin might have said she needed a lemon. And Candiace says something about, needing limes after a shot is for BITCHs. And Robin kind of picks up that Candiace has an issue with her. And Candiace says, "I will talk to you later. Okay. I will deal with you later, girl." So the two groups head out into the vans. You got Ashley, Candiace, and Karen heading out in one van. Okay. And they announce that they're going to make a pit stop. And Jacqueline says to Mia that they're going to go see Wendy. So Mia gets her butt up out the car and opens their car door and announces that since Ashley and Candiace didn't mention that they were going to check on Wendy, that they will need a place to stay when they get back. Okay. At this point, Ashley becomes activated. And y'all know, I forgot how shady Ashley can really be. Okay. Because typically people think it's just Candiace that throws the shade darts. Oh no, but Ashley has had enough and calls her a petty BITCH as Mia is walking off. Mia gets in the car and tells the girls what happened. Ashley and Candiace don't understand how Mia can kick out two grown women with her size 13 feet. That's what they said, not me. That's what they said in the episode. And I was like, "Oh Lord." But they decide that they ain't leaving the house. They don't care what she say. Because at the end of the day, we all know that production got the house, okay? And if they didn't, we all know that they can come and go as they please. The only reason Wendy left was because she didn't want to be around the situation. But we know those women can do exactly what they want to do, and I do not blame them because there is nothing wrong with having a group of friends go check on someone who has been isolated from the group because, girl, not everybody is going to be on your side, okay? So I did think it was very petty, and I think that at the end of the day, there should be some grace given to the fact that you had an altercation with somebody. It wasn't really even an altercation. You tossed a drink at them. You tried to hit them with your pocketbook. You hurt your fingernails in the process. At what point do you stop and say, maybe I was the problem here? Okay, maybe I was the problem. Um, Fiji rated says activated Ashley was in this scene was the best. It was because I was like, oh, I have forgot that Ashley can throw some darts, baby. I forgot. Michelle says Ashley is being flip floppy because she can't get Michael. She can't get Michael to be a part of her storyline, and no one cares about her storyline. It was a long time coming. Ooh. Well, dang. Thank you for that super chat, Michelle. I appreciate that. So anyway, they get to the restaurant and Ashley, texts Mia because she was upset. She was like, "It was rude of you to kick us out because they disagree with something that she didn't want them to do." And after she texts her, she calls Mia a ratchet ass hoe. And so the other girls get to the Savoy, and Giselle was outside in the morning that morning, and she saw Mia and Jacqueline in the shower together. Well, first of all, I thought to myself, how is it that Giselle could see up into somebody else's shower? I guess it was just the shower was right where it was a window at the shower. And then I thought to myself, if you could see them, could they see you? And then I thought to myself, why are you in the shower? I don't take for me personally, I do not take showers with nobody except the person that I am with. Okay. I don't take showers with friends. It doesn't, I mean, I don't understand why I would. Was it a spot on the back she couldn't reach? You know what I'm saying? I mean, like my body's hurting right now. I might need some help in the shower, but I ain't calling a friend to come over and hey, can you bathe my backside right now? Because my body is hurt. Why would I do that? It just, I was kind of like, that's very interesting. Do y'all take friends with y'all shower with y'all friends? I just don't know. Because I'm not trying to be a judgment person, but I'm just asking. And how again, did they know Giselle was watching? Did they just decide to put on a show for Giselle? I don't know. Please don't make me laugh. My body hurts so bad, y'all. Idell Dawson says, do better, Bravo, and hold people responsible for the action. Nene warned us. I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I ain't had to shower with nobody. I mean, I don't even think I showered with people in the gym. And when I was in high school, I don't think we have to do that. I don't remember. Anyway, these are grown adults. They can do what they want to do, I guess. But Robin asks, "Have y'all been together?" And Mia says no. And so apparently, Jacqueline kissed an ex of Mia's, but Mia is very protective of Jacqueline. I can understand the two of them being very close friends, which I think there's nothing wrong with. But I think that the producers are leading us to a place where we begin to see the cracks of their friendship start to crumble on camera. But I can't tell the exact thing that's going to cause it. So we're all looking for the clues, right? Anyway, Wendy gets to the restaurant with Karen, Ashley, and Candiace. And she's really hurt that Mia assaulted her over Peter Thomas. But she reveals that Peter told her that he stopped messing around with her and Gordon because Mia did some alleged snake stuff to Peter's ex-girlfriend, but does not elaborate on what it is. Back over at the beach, Giselle and the group think it's petty for Mia to not have, Candiace and Ashley stay at the house, which is a good thing because I feel like it is petty and somebody did need to tell her that. So Sharice sends a message as Mia's assistant to the group to let them know that Mia spoke out of turn. It didn't matter because they were still gonna go back to the house anyway. Mia then reveals to the group that it's easy for her to cut people off because of her own past traumas. That may be true, but I also think that there may be something that you could use as a part of your story to work through, because I definitely feel like you need to work through that issue. Okay. Um, Michelle Infante says Ashley's friend Deborah seems desperate to get on the show. Check her IG out. Ashley's constantly bringing up this girl, seems very calculated to get her on. I guess I will have to try to check out this girl's IG when I'm feeling better. Ooh, and thank you for that super chat. Okay. Um. So Mia is not sure about throwing this white party for Karen and thinks that maybe Wendy should throw the white party instead because she's not feeling Karen. Anyway, as they're twerking, this was very interesting. Robin is looking at Mia's booty as she's twerking, which I thought was very interesting. And Robin was looking for some lumps, okay, on Mia's butt. And so then we get a flashback of Mia telling Robin that she had some lumps on her butt. So Robin shadily says in her confession that, oh, maybe those lumps heal real fast. I'm gonna let y'all comment on that because um there's so much there's so much to discuss there. Um there's so much to discuss. Anyway, Wendy is going to go with Candiace to the studio. Ashley and Karen are going to go back to the house because they don't give a F. Okay. And Giselle and the girls take a group picture, but find some young tenderonis to rub up on. And Giselle is shocked that Robin likes the young men's with the muscles, but reveals that Juan might be mad about that. I doubt it. Make it make sense as Rob the built. Please don't make me laugh. Rob the builder was way too interested in the details of the group shower and was the only girl staring at Mia's lumps. Inspector Robin was on the case. Um anyway, everybody heads back to the house. Karen feels like she has to respect where Wendy and Mia are, but that they are not, and that they're both not willing to move on. I think that Wendy was willing to move past it to be with the group. I just don't think Mia is ready to move past it at this point. And I gotta respect certain aspects of it, but I also feel like you could be mad at somebody, but you can also like still give them grace and still, because it's Karen's birthday. You know what I'm saying? Do it for Karen if you're not going to do it for yourself. And y'all remember, I felt like back in the day, the producers would have made Mia and Wendy have a sit down ponderosa to discuss what had happened. And I feel like, I guess they're filming the reality, but as a producer for me, and this is no disrespect to the Potomac producers, but I definitely would have made them have a sit down conversation about what happened at the restaurant and what went wrong and how it shouldn't happen again. But maybe we will get that at some point in time soon. Okay. Anyway, Candiace and Wendy go to the studio. Hold on. NG OBA says, why is Rob not in the photo? All shade intended. How did Heavenly ease Quad back in opposed to Sharice? That I missed that. Okay, so if you go back to my interview with Dr. Heavenly, she actually talks about this, about how she worked it out so that her and Quad beefing online was one of the way, and she mentioned her so much on the show that it helped get Quad back on the show, which I'm sure the producers were already probably looking at her for that anyway. But I think that Dr. Heavenly helped it along. With Sharice and the way that Giselle and Robin are in, I think that they're trying to work her in by trying to stir up some type of beef between Sharice and Karen. But I don't think it's working because Karen ain't really biting at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like what should have happened should have been like they should have pulled a Dr. Heavenly. You have the beef with Sharice, okay? One of y'all have the beef with Sharice, and then make that into a thing. But I don't know if people are really interested in Sharice like that anyway. So I mean, you guys let me know, all right? Because you know, I'm always here for OG to return, but y'all, it doesn't make sense. That's the question. I guess the producers did think it made sense because they made her into a friend, so I guess maybe it worked. I don't know. My favorite scene of this episode was Candiace and Wendy going to the studio, hanging out with Trina, the Diamond Princess, aka the baddest bee, and listening to Candiace's new song. The reason why I felt like this was because it was nice to me to see this level of growth in Candiace and to see her following her dreams and to see this come to fruition with a major artist, in my opinion, like Trina. Because for me, growing up and listening to, hip hop, Trina was a big part of that. One of my first concerts, I saw her and Trick Daddy doing and You Don't Know Nan. I still remember it to this day. And personally, I also like the song as well. So for me, this was probably the most joyful moment of the episode for me because I just felt like it wasn't steeped in drama. It was really nice to see. It was good to see Trina on the show. And it was just nice to see Candiace and Wendy being able to celebrate this milestone moment together. And I just really liked it. And I feel like you don't have to like Candiace in order to appreciate this moment. Whether you like her or not is to me is irregardless at this point. But to be able to see this happen and come together, it really did make me feel really, really happy on the inside. And I think, in my opinion, Candiace is one of those types of people that could do this show for another 2 years or so and then move on into, acting and performing and touring and really make something in terms of her career. In addition to that, I love that they did the little Wendy slither as they slithered their way on out of there, and we got that nice little callback moment. I thought it was just such a cute scene, and it was nice. It was really, really nice. Let's see. Back at the house, for some reason, Jacqueline calls Karen upstairs. And Jacqueline relays that Mia is upset about how Karen handled the situation, which was kind of crazy to me that it was Jacqueline speaking for Mia, but however it goes. And so Mia says that Karen is straddling the fence. She's been listening to Giselle and Robin. And so Jacqueline says, let's not do this right now. And Mia says that she would have had Jacqueline's back no matter what was going on. And Karen says she's not playing these games. And then she puts a crown on her head in her confessional. I'm like, uh-oh, is this, we about to get an activated Karen? I've been waiting for it all season. So Mia says she doesn't feel like hosting the party for Karen tonight. And Karen says, well, that's fine because it hasn't been a good birthday for me anyway. Okay. So Karen then walks out and poor Jacqueline wonders if they just won't be friends anymore. I think that we're going to see a big rift between Karen and Mia during the season, but I feel like in my spirit, they're going to work their way back to each other. But y'all just let me know what y'all think in the comment section down below. Also, before we go, there was also some news on the Neighborhood Talk that Monique Samuels had confirmed that she was leaving Love and Marriage DC. The statement on the Neighborhood Talk says, this morning, Monique confirmed the report stating that she didn't like the paperwork for this season, so she decided to step away. She also says she's done with reality TV until she feels valued and the check is right. Okay? And so that's the follow-up from the story from yesterday. I just thought I would give y'all that bit of tea because I just saw it before I started this recap. With that being said, y'all know I love y'all, but my body is in so much pain right now. I struggle to make it through this, but I definitely wanted to talk with y'all today about last night's episode of Potomac because I felt like we needed to have a Ponderosa. So with that being said, y'all know I love y'all, and I'm going to catch y'all in the next video.